Welcome to Red V TV, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2025 season. And with 12 days to go, it's the man with one of the greatest songs in rugby league. It is Saints number 12, Kevin.
Yeah, we got Joe Batchelor, and Joe is sponsored by the Jared Coaches.
Jared coaches, funnily enough, go from the Jared pub. Uh, Coaches to
Who
all
doesn't?
away games, travelling style with Dave Howarth. Wheel advertises away trips throughout the year. Everybody knows Dave, don't they?
I think so. I think so, yeah. Infamous.
That's as much as you're getting.
You've read his phone number out that many times. He doesn't need any more plugging on
No,
this one.
he really doesn't. But if you do want to book a coach off him, it's 07908 646 569. Just give him a text now and just say you've just watched the video of Joe Batch. Don't ring
Good.
him.
Yeah, don't ring him.
Right. Joe Batchelor, Kev. Now, this is a conversation. As great a player as he's been for us, I didn't feel he was great last year. And there's a fair few who fit into that category. But then we did hear at the end of the year that he played quite a lot of it with a big injury.
Yeah, and you're going to take that into consideration with Joe, that if he's played with a big injury, that's obviously going to affect him. Um, I think it's fair to say that he didn't have his best year in a Saints jersey last year. I think he's obviously, and I think it goes without saying, going to be trying to put that right, because is he yet another one who is out of contract at the end of 2025?
Yes.
So there you go, straight away. He's got something that he needs to play for, because it's, yeah, he'd get another gig in Super League, absolutely he would. But do you want another gig in Super League, or do you want a gig at Saints? And of course, he's going to want to stay at Saints, because it feels like he's part of the furniture now, doesn't it? It feels like he's another one. We spoke about Moses and Bai a couple of days ago, who is just a professional, gets on with it, and you don't necessarily have to worry about him, because he's just it hits a good level. The thing that you want is you want him to repeat the level of a couple of years ago, get over any injury problem he had last year, and find the Joe Batchelor form that he was showing uh, prior to the bin fire of last year.
And I just think that's the big thing. If it's based on his 2024 season, I'm not sure it'll be extending. But if he gets back to the
No.
form of previous years, absolutely. Did he suffer in 2024? Because it looked like to me we built him up and made him heavier to play prop at times, and he never actually ever did, and that took away all of what is good in Joe Batchelor's game.
Yeah, I think so. It seemed to be the case that it bulked up a bit just to help us out up front. But that's not his game, is it? It's not his game. His game's a second rower, and it's a good second rower as well. Good, solid, has got a pass in him. Uh, Tackles, like, I think, did he come back and he made 40 odd tackles against Leeds? And that
Yeah,
was his, like, and I
yeah,
think you said, I don't think he's had much impact on the game. And it's only
yes.
when we
That with
look
that
at
game,
it,
Kev.
yeah, and he made 40 odd tackles, showing kind of a lot of what he does might go under the radar. Are we being a little bit unfair because stuff does go under the radar, the bits of hard work? Possibly so. But you do want to see the best version of these players. You know they've got it within them. So hopefully, no injury. Coming in fresh this year, hopefully we'll see um, him wearing number 12 and getting that shot as your starting second rower, because he's obviously in a battle with James Bell wants to start, Matt Whitley wants to start, Curtis Sirena wants to start. You've got your other lads who are going to be pushing. Johnny Vaughan's going to want to start somewhere, and
Is
he's
the concern, Kev, that him and Matt Whitley are too similar?
possibly, yeah. I think that, like, when we spoke about Matt, I don't think Don't think he had a great season, did he, last year? So there's a battle there to get yourself a contract between two players who play the same position. It should be good for Saints because they're battling for contracts. Um, but I know we keep saying that everyone's a lovely fella. Joe's one of them properly good blokes, been within the community foundation for a while as well. So he kind of gets the club. I'm not saying anything bad about Matt Whitley either, but Joe gets the club despite being originally from Yorkshire. Um, it'd be a shame for him to kind of not have a good season this year.
I think a concern for many is the way we ended up last season was due to not having squad churn and keeping everyone and extending everyone, and essentially the team came in some eyes to the end of its life cycle.
Yeah,
And I think that is an issue for me. And you brought Johnny Vaughan into that conversation as well. You've got, if you keep Curtis Sironen, for me, Curtis Sironen plays all day, every day.
yeah,
He's quota player and is solid as a rock. He starts. And then for the other side, you've got Batch, Matt Whitley, and Johnny Vaughan competing. And if you're trying to bring the age of the squad down and bring players through, and Johnny Vaughan proves this year that he's good enough, I just think three players don't go. I think you pick your two.
yeah. I think this is obviously a wider conversation than just about Joe Batch, isn't it? That we've got, or when we started this pre-season, we had 17 players out of contract. Um, you've got to turn the squad over. You can't have the same lot over and over and over again because, as you see, squads come to the end of the life and you've got to just refresh. And this is a wider, as I say, a wider conversation than just talking about Joe Batchelor. But again, like we said about Moses, that's the turn is dependent on A, are the lads who are coming through the academy good enough? And did they prove that they're good enough? And B, what's available on the open market?
Yeah. And do you know what? I hate the fact that we're sat here doing previews for the players for 2025 and we're already discussing of whether we should be retaining or moving them on. And I think that is a sad indictment
Yeah.
of the rule change, which is now allowing players to discuss the futures from the start of January. So it's absolutely inevitable that we're going to be sat here doing that.
Yeah, it is. It'll be inevitable when we do these next year that we'll be chatting about this and saying, well, we've had to let X, Y, and Z go because you're mentioning the players who could play second row. You could probably throw Jake Wingfield in there. I know he propped in the friendly game, but you could probably throw him in there to play second row. You've got your lads who are trying to push through, Leon Cowan, Jake Davis, who could play second row.
I
It's
think it puts players in a really bad position as well. So listen, we'll pick player X plays for Wigan or player X plays for Saints and they sign for the rival. So player from Saints signs for Wigan or player from Wigan signs for Saints. And then they have to play the whole season
yeah,
in a Saints jersey. No, when the fans know they're going to go to Wigan or vice versa. And then they play on Good Friday and they make a mistake. Can
yeah,
you imagine? It's just
yeah. I know what you're
oh,
saying. Yeah,
crap.
yeah, yeah. But it's the rules that are currently in. We've just got to deal with them, haven't we?
Yeah. This is where Australia don't do it right.
Yeah, and we've followed them.
Yeah. Like we do all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We will be back tomorrow.